Rotary Mix Productions.
What are we doing?
We gotta pull off the harmonic balancer.
That bigger than a 23?
I have a 24.
Holy shit. That's impressive.
Alright. Let me know when you're ready.
Go for it.
No? Okay. That came off a lot easier than I'd anticipated. Can't remember if these are pressed on or not.
Alright, so here we are. Engine bay's all good. Engine's out. It's all drained of fluids. Right now it's finishing off the last few drops of oil. Took off the timing belts and everything. Exhaust manifold is off. Kind of hard to see, kind of dark in here. But the exhaust manifold is off. Oh, I guess he's right there. And yeah, we're pretty much ready. We were fighting the cams. There's a weird like 10 mil, it's like a 10 mil hex bolt on there. So we're gonna wait till tomorrow, take this to a friend's house who's got a special tool to hold down the gears so they're not wobbling everywhere, you're not stripping nothing. And he's got some specialty tools for this. So we're gonna drive it over to his house tomorrow, take this guy apart, and it should be pretty easy. Once those are out, you can just take the cams out with a couple screws, and then the head studs are in there. We'll be getting our gaskets and everything here in the next couple days, and while that's going on, we're going to take this to the machine shop, make sure everything's level, get it milled down, and we'll pop it all back together. Good work for a single day's worth of work, and it went pretty smoothly, I'd say. We did have a little bit of trouble there fighting to get it out of the engine bay for a sec. Yeah, that's where we sit. And on to tomorrow. Thanks. Alright, so day 2. Ethan's back here again. We just took the engine over to Ethan's buddy's house, and he took out the cam gear screws for us, or bolts. And now we're just gonna pop the heads off. Shouldn't be too long. Alright, so Ethan's all gone. He's all gone, used up. And yeah, we'll make this quick, but cams are out. Cams are looking pretty good. No major, it's hard to see with my body in the way, but the cams don't have any wear marks. Looking pretty solid. So we'll probably just toss these in some, like, I don't know. I'll have to check to see if it's okay, but maybe some degreaser. Get those all cleaned up nice. Heads are here. We'll be sending these to the machine shop in the next couple days. It is the weekend, so shops are closed. As you can see, the heads do have a little bit of material going out, and that's probably where my coolant was going. Just a little bit here and there, not too much, and nothing terrible, but they were on their way. And I've just got some engine foam on here. So that's pretty much where we're sitting for this week. It'll be a couple days, probably till I get to the machine shops, get the heads all put together, and I'm still waiting on some head studs and a few other parts. And this guy should be going back together pretty soon. Alright, so we just got the block out. I've already started a little bit on it. Just degreasing and pressure washing it. This shouldn't take too much time. I just want to get the basic grime off of it, just road sludge, you know. Let's see if this works. Alright. So what's up, guys? Ethan here. We're looking at day 3-ish. This is actually like the next week. I've been waiting on some parts, just trying to get things here. And we're at that point. So I kind of threw this on Instagram. This isn't new to some people, but I found a VF43 turbocharger. This is to an 07 STI, I believe. So it's a much bigger upgrade from basically what I was using, which is a TD04, is the stock Subaru WRX turbo. And basically, I was running 19 pounds of boost on my other turbo, which is a lot. That's a lot of strain on those turbos. Wastegates and enclosures crack usually, and they just stop working and bleed all the air out. And so yeah, just to give you an idea of what we're dealing with. Oh, turn up the brightness in here. Wrong way. Alright, so just to give you a little idea here, this is our stock TD04 turbo. The car does have 200,000, it's like 210,000 miles, and these turbos are pretty much the same. I could bring it in there and show you, like, the shape of everything is literally the same. So this is a bolt-on application, or it should be at least. But as you can see in here, it's kind of not the greatest of light, but we've got like a 6-fin impeller, and there is a lot of soot, a lot of grime. Look at the inside of where air goes straight into the engine, or the intercooler, I guess. Look how gunked up that is. Nasty. Lots of oil was getting fed into this guy. Not sure why exactly. Something was not, I'm guessing it's due to this air fuel separator. It's this guy. Basically reroutes PCV valve waste back straight into the oil pan. I'm guessing that was just dirtying up the oil and then reburning in the intake. So I'm probably gonna delete this. This obviously, as soon as I bought the car, this was put on by the previous owner. When I saw it, I was like, that doesn't, like, at first I thought it was a cool idea, but then when I really got to thinking about it and I changed my oil a couple times, I was like, man, my oil is looking gunky faux show. And I think this is what's causing it. I think it's this guy. Basically just dumps all the PCV valve stuff, so excess fuel, excess oil, right back into the oil pan. It's convenient because you don't have to have a catch can, but it's bad because fuel and other deposits in your oil, which oil is purely supposed to be for lubrication purposes, this stuff being thrown back in to your oil is just not a good idea. So, sure, it might be convenient, but I don't think that is actually a good solution to the problem. Hence why I think all this gunk is on the inside of this turbo. Plus it just has 200,000 miles. That doesn't help at all. But, so yeah, this is the old turbo. This guy was making 19 PSI. I think it runs 12 PSI stock. Just a little bit. All right, and so when you're making really high boost pressures on a small turbo, it really kills its efficiency ratings, because what happens is when you're spinning something really small, really fast to make up that PSI exchange, basically you're just producing a ton of heat, and that's one reason why you go with a bigger intercooler to bring those temperatures down. But basically it's not good for the turbo, it's not good for fuel economy, it's not good for anything really but spool speed, which that turbo did spool up really nice and quickly. This guy right here, on the other hand, I'm not sure exactly what these spool to, but it is a little bit bigger. It has a more beefy wastegate setup, so it's less likely to crack. The cool thing about this guy is I did buy this off of someone with paperwork to show for it, but this was rebuilt. This is a rebuilt VF43. And it has porting done to it, and so you can actually see this has been polished out. The exhaust side has been ported. This is actually aftermarket. That is a billet steel, fin, whatever you want to call it. So this guy has been completely redone, not only rebuilt but upgraded. So I can run lower boost with this and achieve the same results, if not better results, than what I was getting with the other turbo. What's good about that is obviously my temperatures will go down. So one of the issues with the TD04 versus something like this is it does get hotter, and when you're running with a high compression 9:1, you run into issues where when you run too much heat, you cause things like detonation, knock, just bad things can happen. So by running lower boost levels with this, not working as hard, you should be able to see higher efficiency in the engine, and it should make easier power with less strain actually on the motor as a whole. So one of the problems that did occur with this turbo though is the guy I bought it from did have a aftermarket wastegate setup. So he bought, trying to get the shadows out of here, but this is a Grimspeed block off plate basically. And this is the wastegate right here. And normally you have, and I can pull up a picture of the TD04, but basically there's a little bladder up here, or whatever you want to call it. I forget what you'd call it, but basically you feed boost pressure into that bladder and it tells when the wastegate to open and close. What he did, since he had an external wastegate, is he wanted this to be permanently shut and not open. Nice thing about this Grimspeed one is this allows it so you can revert back to your original setup. So if you wanted to sell this turbo, as in a situation like this, I can now take this bracket off and put my own my own actuator on there. And I went with a Turbo Smart part number right here. So this should just be a bolt-on application. All right, so I don't know if these are aftermarket bolts. I'm guessing they are, but this main bolt right here for the lever seems to be 1/2 inch. There we go. And then these little bolts right here seem to be, what are we running with, 5/16. So I'm just gonna undo these 3. So let's check this out. So yeah, it should just be like this. Probably just bolts her back in. And so it's just as much as this. Doesn't seem right. Doesn't seem long enough. Let's keep this in place. I'll just lock on there. So after further inspection of the notes, the instructions, inspection of the instructions. So originally I just aligned this pin to fit flush with this arm. I had it sitting in the hole flush,
and that wasn't good enough. Basically, you want a little bit of preload on the arm with this arm as well. So basically, to do that, it does say in the instructions of the manual that it wants 2 millimeters of preload. So this needs to be set back about 2 millimeters so the holes don't line up just a little bit. And you got to get an air compressor and blow it into the hole up here to actuate the actual arm. So there's a little bit of preload on there and you're not getting any wastegate leakage. It also does say in the instructions, do not use any more than 40 PSI on the bladder or the actuator. You could probably ruin the diaphragm that's on the inside of that. So you don't want to damage it. Make sure to use less than 40 PSI or 3 bar, I think is what it said. So I'm gonna redo that because I messed that up. So I've already aligned it. I've got about, I'd say it's a little more than 2 millimeters, probably 3 millimeters, but that's probably good. So I'm just gonna go in here with, I've just got an air compressor hose. I've already got it set to, cool, so we're at 40 PSI, and I'll just like let it go in a little bit. Let's see. There we go, nice. And now, we can reinstall our little pin. I still don't know what this pin's called, but basically just a cotter pin. This is probably not the way you're supposed to do it, but it worked. It sure did work, let me tell you. And it's got that preload on there, so we should be good. And I'll just relock my nut on there. Alright, cool. So now, yeah, we can test it. And like I said, I believe this is an 8-pound spring. Let's see if I can get some light on the inside there. So the actual wastegate right there. Cool. Alright, what's up guys? Ethan here. End of the video, and I just kind of wanted to say thank you for watching, and yeah, basic just outro kind of stuff. Sorry for not having more like POV footage. I have to figure out what happened to my GoPro and all of its supplies. I have a GoPro still, and you know where it is, but I kind of lost my headband that holds it to my forehead, and I've also lost its charger somehow. I'm not sure where it's gone. We've done a lot of moving recently, and lots of things are just being switched around, moved around, so things are just getting lost left and right. But so yeah, I just wanted to make a quick little outro and just say, hey, thank you for watching. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, and if you want to watch more, just stay tuned and subscribe, because I've got lots of projects coming up. So thank you again for watching, and have a good one.